Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 51 of Yet Another Expat, the podcast where I bring thoughts, news, random things, and all the rest. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you are thriving. I hope you are succeeding. I hope you are the best version of yourself that could be, and all that. Isn't it what these coaches say online to make the best version of yourself? Well, in any case, an okay version of yourselves is also okay. I'll start off by saying that I loved making the previous episode 15. However, it didn't get so much love out there. I'm not sure why, but numbers don't lie. Well, unless you are Greece and you are trying to enter into the euro and Goldman Sachs help you lie with the numbers, and then years later it comes bite you down your ass, and then you can't find a job and the economy crashes and you need to leave the country and you end up making a podcast in a foreign land. Where was I going with this? I don't know, but let's get going. Now, one thing that is really nice is that we are almost there. We are 1 week away from getting an extra hour of sun. And this is, my friends, this is one of the best times of the year. You need to have these little checkpoints, to keep it going. Whether it's Christmas or summer or some vacation, whatever it is, for me, this time of the year when we get 1 more hour of sunlight is one of those checkpoints. I'm waiting for it. I'm excited for it. Let's bring it on. How do you visualize the year in your heads? A lot of people start the year in January or in September because this is when a season starts. How do you visualize a year in a shape? Is it a circle for you that goes round and round? Does your visualization of how a year looks like go up and down? So for me, if I could make it into a 3D shape, it's a bit like a roller coaster. And right now we're slowly descending. We're almost out of the woods. March, April, May, June is all the way into a nice slow descent. Then it gets flat in the summer, nice and flat and easy going. And then around September starts going up again. October, November going all the way up. November starts taking a turn, going upwards. And I think that in December is a bit of the high place. January, high place. February, it's the peak. It's my birthday. It starts going down. But yeah, I don't know if you've ever gave it a thought. I don't know how you feel. We are now in the circle of the year. But no matter where you think we are, 1 more hour of sunlight is coming, at least for us in this side of the planet. Now with that, if you are located in Berlin, there's actually cherry blossom trees that happen to blossom around. It's the perfect place to go take nice photos and feel like you are in Japan, or, feel the niceness coming in, the first part of niceness of the weather changing. And I've seen a lot of posts around where you can find the cherry blossoming trees in Berlin. If you want it, you need to look for it. You just type 3 words. I remember one in Friedrichshain, close to the canal, but it had 6 trees. They looked amazing, but it was just a tiny block of these trees. But this is a thing, cherry blossom trees. If you want to be romantic, if you want to go for a photo shoot, if you want to just go and smell them like a normal person, you can do that. Everyone seems to want to catch them. But we have another week. Not that it matters when you have a baby. Everything feels like the same day. I don't even know if it's the weekend or what day it is. I keep looking at my phone, or I ask inside the house the smart devices to remind me. It feels like Groundhog Day. That movie where someone lives the same day again and again. But can be hard, can be fun. But at least we have some cute photos that we can send around, and with those we shape reality for others as a cutesy baby growing situation. Now, as I've said before, we are relatively lucky, I think. The baby is doing some good stretches of sleep, and for some time now it's making a new sound, because the sound variation is either crying or nothing, or different types of crying, screaming or crying. But now, since some time, we have a sound. And that sound is a That's the sound. I'll do it again. Amazing. You know, that's something. What's coming up ahead? It should start that the baby is looking in our direction when we talk to him. He doesn't really do that now. You could be talking to him and he just stares at the wall. It looks like he is having visions. He has tripped over some acid and is doing his own thing. But very soon, when we talk, it's going to look at us. I'm telling you, I'm working with breadcrumbs over here. The development takes its time. It feels super fast and super slow at the same time. It will take years until I can play backgammon with this kid and complain and drink ouzo. I mean, Gen Z already drinks 85% less than the previous generation, so maybe we play backgammon and drink kombucha or whatever the future hipsters will be drinking. We have now started reading with him, and by reading, I mean these fake books where the pages are made out of fabric and they talk when you squeeze them, and instead of letters they have big pictures and ribbons and all of that. So yes, I think the favorite page for now is the fish, because it has a shiny curtain of hair, and once things get more interesting we'll report back. But these books are a beginning of education. You see shapes, you see colors. But someone would say, who needs education anyway? Someone who has also said, I love the poorly educated. The very own president of the United States, Donald Trump. Because if you might have missed this in a stunning move that absolutely no one saw coming, except everyone, Trump has signed an executive order to begin dismantling the Department of Education. Because why have a federal agency dedicated to education when you can just not have one, right? The question is, can he actually do that? And the answer is sort of. The Congress needs to agree. There's a lot to happen there. Some critical functions will continue, like student loans, because nothing says we care about education like ensuring that the youth remain crippled by debt. And special education funding will carry on. But everything else gets shut down. I think we need to take a moment to appreciate the poetry of this situation. The man who brought Trump University, a shining beacon of educational excellence that was as real as his natural hair color, is now in charge of dismantling the actual education. It's like putting a pyromaniac in charge of a fireworks factory and saying, don't worry, he'll only light the small one. And as we had said before, one of his key associates to do that is the education secretary, who is coming from WWE, the wrestling place. It seems like the most qualified person to oversee the dismantling of the education system is someone whose expertise lies in choreographic violence and chair throwing and all of the things that happen in US wrestling. This couldn't get closer to the movie Idiocracy that came out in 2006 and was also the reason why Crocs became a thing. You should look this one up, where basically the president of the United States of America in the movie is a wrestling champion and everyone is drinking Pepsi and firing with guns, and yeah, you can check it out. I will let you draw your own conclusions on why having a federal department for education might not be a good idea. And in the reference side of things, 1984 from George Orwell is also a great book. Who knows, maybe one day they ban it from schools or they throw it in the fire. But yeah, in Trump's America, ignorance isn't just bliss. Ignorance is now a policy. So there goes that. The cherry on top of that is the golden card situation. I don't know if you've seen that, but they actually announced that they will sell a gold card, basically granting permanent US residency for anyone who wants to pay $5 million. So anyone can buy a US residency, and this has started to happen. 1,000 gold cards have been sold in a single day when this started, raising $5 billion. Good job with that. And making sure that whoever wants a US residency and can pay for it gets to get it. I wonder how many oligarchs got very, very happy with this gift, which proves again and again that the only discrimination that exists is the one of the rich and the poor. and that the real fight is a class fight. It's just money and power. It doesn't matter who you are, how you look like, where you come from. At the end of the day, we live in a society where if you have money, then you're good, and if you don't, then you're doomed. There's a phrase that says, it's not a race war, it's a class war, which emphasizes that the societal conflicts are often attributed to racial differences, but at their core, they are rooted in class struggles and economic disparities. During the Occupy Wall Street protests in 2011, a popular slogan was, "They only call it class war when we fight back," suggesting that this term, class warfare, is often applied where marginalized groups challenge economic inequalities. But when the rich do it, it's alright. It's actually Warren Buffett, the billionaire, who in 2006, in an interview, he actually said, quote, "There's class warfare, alright, but it's my class, the rich class, that's making war, and we are winning," highlighting the ongoing economic struggles between different social classes. And anyway, this is not a podcast to get into all of that, but it's straight out of the comic book page that they are selling US residencies to whoever, with the only criteria being paying $5 million. And a great person wrote on Instagram, "Can I sell my residence, get the 5 million and move to Europe?" And this person I applaud. A lot of poor Americans don't know how many things in Europe are a right. And I get a weird feeling when I was reading this one that says a lot of countries have the right to pass through forests, through even private properties. In Sweden, they're very proud of it, so proud that they put the entire country on Airbnb in 2017 as a stunt, just to show that by law, you can walk through the entire country. You can camp in the entire country. You can even be on private land, given that you don't litter, I think. And then in the US, if you find yourself by accident in the property of someone, you can literally get shot. But anyway, I am now mumbling, so I will close this chapter. Talking about trespassing and shooting, I actually started playing a new game. It's not so new, it came out in 2017, I'm a bit late to the party, but it's Red Dead Redemption 2, for those who know it. I think if you have any relevancy with gaming, you would know it. It's an open world game, you can go and explore. It takes place in the Wild West. You are kind of like an outlaw, a cowboy. You live with a group of people. You need to take care of them, and all sorts of stories start off from that. But it's one of these games where you can explore the world and it takes you places. You can choose to be a good person or a bad person, and you don't need to strictly follow a specific way. There is, of course, a main story, but what I like to do is just hump on that horse and start riding, go into... It has nice wilderness, and I think the reason why I chose it is a few episodes ago I told you how I bought a graphics card as a gift for myself this Christmas, and the truth is I didn't have any games to just put that graphics card into proper use, like to enjoy it properly. It's like buying a Lamborghini and only going for groceries with it. Well, now I get to put it into a stress and see how well the graphics can get. Lovely game so far. It gives me exactly what I wanted, which was a beautiful landscapey nature experience. I get to go up snowy mountains and down into blossoming valley. I get attacked by wolves and bears, and I hunt and I fish and I cook my food. Every now and then I kill some people, I loot them, but it's a great game to give it a go. If you had been considering, it gets my thumbs up. It can even be a bit too slow sometimes, but compared to other games where you have very complex fighting systems or complex character development where you need to choose a lot of different perks that give you bigger perks, and you need to create this whole mapping of how you want your player to evolve and build skills and skill trees and all of that, like a Cyberpunk or I don't know, most games you're building some sort of a skill tree. This one, it's much more chill. I go into the saloon, I have a haircut, I play the piano, and I bust my friends out of prison. So far, so good. My other choice was the Horizon New Dawn, which is also a game where you can explore open areas. It's a bit more the fighting. You have bows, but it's more tech equipped. You have lightnings and electricity, and it's a bit more nature meets space, Avatar meets, I don't know, Star Wars type of thing. You fight a lot of mechanical things, and it felt a little bit more complex, and I just want to chill, so being a wild cowboy is doing it for me. I don't know what your escape is these days, but riding a digital horse is a fun one. But do you know what else can feel like the Wild West sometimes? Damn it, my segues are so smooth, aren't they? Greece can feel like the Wild West or the Middle Ages, depending who you ask, because here's a piece of news. If you're Greek, you know it. If you're not, just a little cherry pick of this country. We had a parliament member from, I don't know how to call it, ultra conservative Christian Orthodox party. It's basically a party that got into the parliament by saying, fuck abortions, that's it. Fork people ready with their torches. And one of their politicians went into the National Gallery of Greece that was hosting one of the temporary exhibitions and took 4 art pieces down, threw on the floor, breaking them because they were depicting some saints that were painted, half saints, half animals, or in a bit of a futuristic way. It was just an interpretation. And in 2025, in the civilized country of Greece, a person could enter the National Gallery, go there, take this down and break them, saying that they are sinful and that they are a blasphemy. And the great few things around this. First of all, when it happened, he initially said, oh, I was just removing them, and as I was removing them and turning, 2 of them fell down and broke, which later was very clearly shown in the video of the gallery, that he just took them and threw them. So you go in there to vandalize art. You don't even have the courage to say, yeah, I broke them. They are offending my religion. His consciousness was so strong that he had to go and vandalize art to prove his faith, and he couldn't even stay true to what happened. He said, I dropped them as I turned around. And then, of course, they detained him there until the police arrived, right? To see what they will do. And then he started complaining, saying that he was harassed and detained against his will. What a freaking crybaby. This brave warrior of religion who thought that his duty is to go and destroy some art because he doesn't agree with. He paid the price to enter the exhibition, by the way, which I find great. And then he started complaining like a crybaby that they're holding him until the police arrives, and started lying that, oh, I just dropped them on the floor. Even the kids that glue themselves on paintings, the ones from last generation that were saying, fuck your paintings, you're killing the planet. This has 1,000,000 times more importance than the painting I'm gluing myself on. They have so much more gut than these people. And besides the infuriating act of burning witches and burning books and banning art, and it sounds so surreal that these things are happening, because you think of Greece and you say, yeah, that's a progressive place, the birthplace of democracy, part of the EU and blah blah blah, but there is a big amount of the population. Sometimes we jokingly call them the Christian Talibans, Cristiano-Taliban, which are the fanatics, the strong-voiced part of the population. Because what happened, let me also tell you a little bit, the next days following that, the overwhelming majority of society said, what the hell, how is this even possible? Art should be protected. The artist himself decided to not restore the drawings, the paintings, but leave them broken on the floor and continue the exhibition like this and display them as they had been vandalized, which I think is a pretty smart move. But then a lot of crazy Christian ultras started gathering outside the National Gallery with pictures of saints and just shouting for the blasphemy to stop. And these people call things the Antichrist. They say that the devil is whatever they don't like, from vaccines. Back in the day with barcodes, everything that had a barcode was somehow the sign of the beast. And the new ID cards that Greece has been trying to put for 20 years now, they're the people that think that things have a chip, like everything has a chip. The world has a shortage of chips, and trade wars are happening for who gets to have chips, but they put all of them to track down the person living under a rock in Greece, right? To do what? To control your mind? They don't need a chip to control your mind. Just a priest and €2 on TikTok is enough to control your mind. Anyway, this is a 5 to 10% of the population. It's there because it can elect political parties like this one, Niki, that got into the parliament with pure hate for anything else besides what they believe is the rightful religious way to do things. They even tried to stop a stand-up comedy show, and they've tried to stop theater plays that they find sinful. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised how they organize so well. At some point they hated technology, now they must be using it. They're like, hey, there is a comedy show downtown. We need to go protest. They're making a joke about Jesus, so we need to go fight. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'm getting my Jesus picture, the one with the wooden frame to hold it. Oh, that's a great idea, man. Okay, I'll bring the Byzantine flag with the eagle. Good, because I was bringing the eagle as well. No, which t-shirt are you gonna wear? I'm gonna wear the one that says Jesus or nothing. Okay. And then they just, go there with the little torches and pitchforks, and they get to stand outside of a theater play and complain about how it will corrupt people who are paying there. No one is forced to see anything, No one forces you to go to a comedy show. No one forces you to go to a specific art exhibition. Why don't you just let people do whatever it is that they want? Didn't Jesus say things like that? Like whoever is the saint should throw the first stone, or he even says when they slap your face, you should turn the other cheek. It doesn't say when they put up a theater play, go burn the place down. But you know what? Maybe all of this is hopeless because, in a delightful twist, scientists are saying that our universe might be stuck inside a black hole. So if the world feels like you're trapped in an endless void, maybe you're actually trapped in an endless void. How do we know we might be inside a black hole? Well, there is the galaxy spin mystery. We're now using the James Webb Telescope to count and measure much more than we could before. And researcher from Kansas found out that 2 out of 3 galaxies rotate clockwise, while only 1 out of 3 spin counterclockwise. And this is very, very weird, because you might think, who needs balance in the universe anyway? But such a big difference, having 2/3 of galaxies spin one way and only 1/3 the other way, is there's a very big preference to rotate in one direction. And what brings that preference? It's like the cosmos decided to shrug and say, that's close enough. And one of the explanations is that we could be rotating in a black hole universe. So in this way, the universe might have inherited its spin from a parent black hole. It's like a cosmic inheritance. We got the spin just out of the conception. It goes well with the theory that the Big Bang was just matter bouncing back after collapsing in another universe's black hole. If that's true, then, there would be some wild implications, like other black holes could be potentially entryways to separate universes. So then we have more places to feel insignificant. It could be that our universe's physics are shaped by these parent black holes' properties, like a cosmic form of determinism. Our fate was sealed before we even existed, because there are some constants that rule our cosmos, and we don't know why they are like that. Why the speed of light is what it is. Why gravity has the number it has. There are many constants that rule us. The Planck constant, a constant that characterizes the strength of electromagnetic interactions, and those things are set. They don't change. They are a set number. It's like someone wrote a program and said, okay, this thing equals this. Because there's no because it is. I was very excited and I sent this to my dear friend Kostas, who is a theoretical physicist. He's now a postdoc or something like this. He knows a lot about cosmology. And I was like, hey, look at this. Maybe we are inside a black hole because the galaxies are spinning. Too many galaxies are spinning one way. How fun is that? And he was like, yeah, it's a known theory. We probably aren't inside a black hole, but no one can say for sure yet. But I'll wrap it up here. Whether we are inside a black hole or not. I will keep on grinding. I will keep on hustling. My baby diaper, milk, spitting, cooking, cleaning, back in pain life. And thanks to Bianca for giving me the cat exercises. I'm doing everything I can to help my back, including Pilates and praying to all different gods, from the ones that have fans vandalizing art exhibitions all the way to the giant flying spaghetti monster, or what that thing was. Yes, the flying spaghetti monster. It even has its own church. So someone could believe in that. Who am I to judge? I'm no one. And as I wrap it up, I will also say big happy birthday to Cherie, a very faithful fan of this podcast. She's also exhibiting in a number of places. She's a photographer in Berlin. So if you want to go to an exhibition, you can check out Cherie. It's written like a cherry, but with one R. Birkner, a bit like Birkenstocks, but an extra R there as well. So whether it is the cherry blossom trees that you see or Cherie's photos, I wish you a great week and I will see you next one. Ciao.